I know you can't build a complete strategy off a one-game sample. Consistency is key. However, with the number one spot is within reach for some team, squads are starting to flash their playoff rotations. This scouting report breaks down the Denver Nuggets versus OKC Thunder game from February 26, 2026, treating it as a blueprint for how these giants might clash in the postseason, and how an outside onlooker could potentially use it. What's up, guys, and welcome back. Today I wanted to take a retrospective analysis at a massive Western Conference heavyweight clash, the reigning 2025 NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder edging out the Denver Nuggets 127-121 in an overtime. This didn't feel like a regular season game. Both sides played like their playoff lives depended on it. For the Nuggets, it was about vengeance after last year's playoff exit, plus padding the Joker's MVP resume. For the Thunder, it was about defending that number one seed and proving they still run the West. As the season winds down, a postseason collision between these two seems possible, but this statement win isn't just about them. Every strategic adjustment and lineup tweak on that floor is crucial scouting material for and the other teams. We are hunting for that number one seed, so I Python and SQL scripts to extract the key findings from this matchup and figure out exactly how the squad can exploit their weaknesses. Normally when we analyze a basketball game, we just stare at the scoreboard. We wait for a 10-0 run and say, "Yep, the momentum shifted." But by the time that run shows up on the broadcast, the damage is already done. Traditional observation is completely reactionary. It only gives you the history of the game. That is exactly why applying calculus to the play-by-play data is a game changer. By using derivatives to measure the rate of change, we stop reacting to the past. Instead, we can pinpoint the exact micro moment the momentum sparks, dissecting exactly what caused the fire before the scoreboard even flinches. Looking at the data, the first three major momentum swings all point to one undeniable truth. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's on/off-court splits completely dictate the flow of the game. When SGA is on the floor, the Thunder are a well-oiled machine. He is the ultimate floor general, simplifying the offense, drastically limiting unforced errors, and anchoring a defense that forces live ball turnovers and converts them into easy points. But the second SGA goes to the bench, the pendulum swings violently the other way.
Pulling through that illness.
Here's Holmgren on the drive, attacking and throwing it away. Round the road. Wiggins on the baseline, throws it away to Murray, and now a foul on Jokic 0 for 2 from 3. And a double dribble back to opening 6 minutes here in Oklahoma City. Jokic has already committed a foul. He has 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Jamal Murray drains it deep. Hardaway tries a three. Got it. Tim Hardaway Jr. chest to chest with Williams and banks in the shot. Thought he was fouled again. Poor offensive start at home for the Thunder. Brown's three is good. And a timeout by Oklahoma City.
The second momentum comes after SGA returns to the floor at 2 minutes left in the quarter. He stacked up 6 points to end the first quarter and continued to trim the lead heading to the second quarter, which at this time, from the 2 minutes of the first quarter to 8 minutes of the second quarter, they have the momentum. They are more controlled and more efficient offensively.
KC scored the first 2 points, and then Denver scored. If one team is thinking of the other, you're going to have to go through us in the postseason.
Lift from 3. Most made threes off the bench this year. You talked about it. Points are good, and Shai can get it.
They are the number 1 rated defense in the NBA. Hardaway blocked by Gilgeous-Alexander. That's the 4th block for the Thunder already. And SGA so good from the mid-range. He's up to 10 points.
And I think he hurt his elbow. He's coming up the floor. He grabbed it and winced. We'll keep an eye on it.
Gilgeous-Alexander again from mid-range. He's got the last 10 points now for the Thunder. Gilgeous-Alexander has a chance, Doris, to be just the second player ever to go 55% from the floor, 40 from 3 and 90 from the line. Joe's three, swish. Check that 35-26, so 9-point deficit, but a turnover. SGA racing up the court, takes it himself and gets the layup. He's got 14. Williams, nice fake. Now Dort for 3. Got it.
And that goes from a near certain layup.
Here's Murray. Just 1 for 5 from the floor, lost the ball, and turnovers on 3 straight possessions.
The third momentum came after Hardaway's three, and after that there was a long drought of moments as the team continues to back and forth trade jabs. The Thunder hand the keys to McCain. McCain can definitely get his own bucket, but asking the newest piece of this roster to be the primary floor general against elite defense is a tall order. He'll undoubtedly improve as he logs more minutes in this system, but right now, it's a vulnerability. The most fascinating takeaway from the model is the final key moment in the fourth quarter. Christian Braun hits a huge three-pointer to push Denver's lead to 105-99.
Jokic still getting booed every time he touches it. Shot clock at 9. Murray sets the screen for Jokic. Drive and kick. Brown. 4-3. Christian Braun.
To the average eye, that looks like the dagger. Denver has all the momentum, right? Wrong. The model flagged this exact moment as a massive acceleration shift toward the Thunder. Why? Because Denver still continued double-teaming SGA on the perimeter, banking on a bet that his wings won't drill it from three. Their strategy was clear: make anyone but Shai beat them. They left Alex Caruso open, betting he wouldn't make them pay from deep, which it didn't go their way. Caruso sank two massive clutch threes to completely flip the game on its head and force overtime. So, what are the actionable takeaways here, especially as we game plan for this squad? SGA's two-way dominance. If we are comparing him against Jokic in the MVP race, Shai used this game to prove he has the upper hand. He displayed every facet of his game: elite point production, incredible ball security, and most importantly, suffocating defense. The McCain assignment. A lot of teams don't have a deep scouting report on McCain yet. While he might not be a lethal floor general today and is prone to forcing turnovers under pressure, he has a ton of offensive game. We need to pressure him heavily now before he fully clicks with the Thunder system. The double-edged sword of SGA. OKC's heavy dependence on Shai is their biggest strength, but it's also a highly predictable vulnerability. He is the direct correlation to every positive momentum shift. That makes our scouting objective simple. We have to target him to draw fouls early or relentlessly attack him on the defensive end of the floor to drain his legs. Finally, we need to put more respect to the Thunder wings, as we need to monitor how they track in terms of three-point percentage. Now let's move on. If you want to understand how the Thunder survived this game, you have to zoom in on the most overlooked storyline of the night: Jaylin Williams. We all know J. Will can stretch the floor, but in this matchup, he turned into something else entirely: a defensive problem. Let me show you what I mean. On the defender matchup regression chart, the blue dots represent defenders who gave up fewer made shots than you'd expect based on the shot volume they faced. And when you look at where Jaylin Williams sits, he's not just blue, he's way below the regression line. That's the chart basically screaming, this guy was suppressing shots. And here's the wild part: the player he was suppressing was Nikola Jokic. Tracking data shows J. Will was the primary defender on Jokic for nearly 25 possessions, and Jokic went just 3 for 8 against him. That's 37.5%. For context, Jokic is over 51% on the season. And it wasn't only Jokic. When J. Will was the main contest, Denver as a whole shot 7 for 20. He wasn't just holding up, he was actively bending Denver's offense out of shape. And the eye test matched the numbers. He checked in at the 4:44 mark of the third quarter and immediately brought a different level of physicality. Then the fourth quarter turns into chaos. Lou Dort gets ejected on a flagrant 2. Jokic is furious, and the temperature in the building spikes. And who's the guy that walks straight into the MVP space? Jaylin Williams. He takes the double technical right alongside Jokic, refuses to give ground, and in that moment, he becomes the emotional enforcer OKC needed to keep the game from tipping over. Now watch what happens on the difference maker's timeline. He anchors the defense during the push that ties the game late, and the second he sits at the 5:39 mark, Denver immediately rips off a run and forces overtime. So Coach Mark Daignault adjusts, and it's a real chess move. He benches Isaiah Hartenstein and opens overtime with Jaylin Williams. And the result? OKC wins the extra period 20-14, and they close the game with J. Will at the center of the defense. So if you're wondering how the Thunder survived the Jokic minutes, how they stabilized the chaos, and how they won overtime, the answer is the hidden storyline. Jaylin Williams didn't just play defense, he changed the temperature of the game. For the final insight, we have to talk about Mark Daigneault's real win condition. It wasn't a single play, it was forcing Denver into survival mode. And the reason that was possible comes down to one uncomfortable truth for the Nuggets. Their role players didn't hold the line. Cam Johnson, in particular, was a problem in this matchup. He finished with an abysmal -25, and you could feel how quickly OKC attacked those minutes. Denver kept searching for a lineup that could buy Jokic and Murray a breather, and they just couldn't find one. And that's the hidden chain reaction. When your role players can't produce, your stars can't sit. Even late in the fourth, when Denver desperately needed a dagger to put OKC away, Johnson gets a clean look, a wide open 23-foot three, and it doesn't fall. That miss matters because it's not just one shot. It's one more possession where Jokic has to come back down, defend, rebound, create, and reset the entire offense again. So instead of Denver managing minutes, Denver starts chasing minutes. Now look at the workload. Murray ends up at 47 minutes. Jokic pushes past 44 minutes of pure war. And that's where the Thunder's plan becomes obvious. Bring up the Jokic in-game fatigue curve. This model tracks Jokic's efficiency as his cumulative on-court minutes stack up. Early on, he's sharp, efficient scoring, steady playmaking, full control. But once he crosses that low 20s threshold, around 22 to 24 minutes, you see the shift. His points per minute drop below baseline. His field goal efficiency dips. His overall impact starts trending down. By the time he's deep into the 30-minute range, the playmaking starts to slide too. The assists per minute taper off. The offense gets heavier. The reads get slower. Not because Jokic forgets how to play, because fatigue starts stealing the tiny edges that make him unstoppable. And OKC kept pushing the game into that zone. Now put up the Jokic versus SGA matchup timeline. This is the chessboard. It shows you when they overlap, when the stints happen, and how the game swings while they share the floor. They kept the decision-making pressure high. They forced Denver into longer possessions. They made Jokic defend actions. They made Murray work to create. And because Denver's supporting cast couldn't stabilize anything, there was no safe moment to rest. So once the game hits overtime, the Thunder have the advantage that doesn't show up in one highlight clip. Fresh legs versus exhausted greatness. That's how OKC closed the door, not with one shot. So what does this mean for a team that's trying to become a real championship contender? A few takeaways that Detroit, San Antonio, Denver, Boston, Cleveland, everybody should be taking seriously. First, SGA isn't just the engine, he's the assignment. That sounds obvious on offense, but this game showed something more important. His gravity shows up on both ends. I used to think, oh, KC's defense is Chet's world, SGA just helps. And yes, Chet is absolutely the rim anchor. He erases mistakes, but the needle-moving defense, the stuff that doesn't live in the box score, that swing of momentum defense, that's Shai. He's the guy who tilts possessions. He disrupts rhythm. He turns a normal trip into a broken possession. And when that happens a few times in a row, the whole game starts leaning OKC. So if you're scouting OKC, the message is simple. You can't let Shai defend comfortably. Make him work, make him chase, make him navigate actions. Because in this game, Denver didn't really force that issue. They didn't hunt him the way you'd expect. Now, the hard part is, you can't attack SGA with one predictable ball handler. If you want to stress him, you need perimeter chaos. Multiple guards who can dribble, pass, and score. You need a guy who can turn the corner, a second creator who can punish the rotation, and enough shooting that OKC can't load up. That's why having two playmaking guards isn't a luxury in the playoffs, it's a requirement. Second, the scouting report needs an update. Everyone already circles Caruso and Dort. That's standard. But after this game, Jaylin Williams needs to be in that same conversation. His defensive minutes weren't just solid, they were impactful. He brought physicality, he absorbed contact, and he held up in the biggest possessions. And on the other side, McCain is real on offense. He's not just a nice future piece, he's already the type of guard who can swing a stretch with shot making and composure. If you're game planning OKC and you're only focused on the headline names, you're missing the problem. And finally, the biggest lesson Denver learned the hard way: stars still need help. Jokic and Murray were forced to carry everything, not just scoring and playmaking, but defending, rebounding, and surviving high-leverage possessions for 44 and 47 minutes. That's not a sustainable playoff formula, because when the workload becomes that extreme, it stops being basketball. It becomes endurance, and OKC is built to win endurance games. But what do you guys think? Does your team have what it takes to take down the champs? Drop your comments below, and until then, stay curious.